is Lynn Serrano at Live, Love, Laugh, and Let Go Out Loud. And today I'm super, super excited because made friends with a super awesome chickie on Clubhouse. I think you're going to love her just as much as I do. She's a Latina too. So I'm super excited to have her in the house. Is Veronica. So she'll be right back with me. Hold on. There she is, Miss Beautiful Veronica. How are you, beautiful?
I'm fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. I'm so glad to be here. Love your energy.
Oh, I love you. I'm super, super excited. Oh, I didn't know if you got to share this with on your wall so that we can have people ask you live questions because I love audience that participates. So I'm super, super excited. And if you'll just do me a favor and just introduce yourself real quick before we get into the fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, Veronica Sopher, and I'm in Texas. I have enjoyed getting to know people. I am a connector. That is my calling. That is what I do. I love to connect individuals and groups and organizations that are meant to work together and find synergistic relationships. I am that person who makes friends at the grocery store and never walks away from a dinner party having met 5 new friends. So, I just love the opportunity to engage with people.
I know. I just love you, Spirit. I just love you. I'm super, super excited that you're here. And I'm excited for people to get to know you and love you just as much as I do. And let's see. Let's just start out with some questions here. So, what meaning does living your best life have for you personally?
That's a great question. And I would say living authentically, living true to your purpose. Early in life, I had an idea of who I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to do, the types of friends I was supposed to have, the type of car I was supposed to drive, how my hair was supposed to look, but it wasn't really my authentic self. And I didn't know that I had permission to really live my true authentic self. And so the older I got, the more I realized how far I was from that. And so once I started to show people who I was, the rest came easy. And, I'd make jokes and people would laugh and I'd say, oh, it's okay for me to be funny. And even if they fell short, it wasn't a folly or it wasn't a farce. It was just me throwing something out there. And that's when I got to be okay with being who I am.
That's
And, you're always yourself at home around your family, but when you go out, you might have a certain persona. And that's where I found myself. And so one day I just said, you know what? I'm going to live my best life and just be me because it's too short.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. What do you love in your life other than your family?
My network, my network
Oh,
of friends and colleagues, and people that I know who are passionate about charities and passionate about philanthropic work. I loved my Girl Scout family when my daughters were younger. I really enjoyed the theater family that we had when my daughters were in theater, and just my coworkers and the people that are in my daily life. That's my network and that's my tribe.
oh, I love that. Love that. So, what things have you let go out loud? And when I mean let go out loud is, people don't realize people that are successful always, I mean, they didn't just have it easy. They went through challenges to get where they're getting. And I know you're no different there. But if you want to share anything that you have let go out loud that doesn't serve you anymore, that would be great.
Well, what a lot of people don't know, and I have shared publicly, and I'm open to share with people, is my body image and weight loss struggles. I am a bariatric patient, have successfully gone down that journey, was very proud of that. And 14 years ago, I had lap band surgery, and it saved my life. A lot of people aren't willing to talk about that. And that is certainly a part of my journey that I have no longer carry as shame but carry as knowledge and support. And my doctors basically told me I probably added 15 to 20 years on the back end of my life. And so I proudly talk about being in support groups and proudly talk about the struggles of what a lot of people deal with but aren't willing to talk about. So I am a resource for people who have lots of questions about that or who are considering it, and it's not a part of my shame bucket that I carry around.
I love that. I actually checked into gastro bypass once, but I have a I have a condition which 50% of the people that get have gastric bypass end up with. I have gastroparesis.
Ah,
And so, and they said, why do you want to have gastro bypass? I said, I don't. I said, but every time I eat, I get sick. I said, and I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. And she said, oh, you need to go see the, endocrinologist. And she's like, I think you get gastroparesis. I'm like, well, what's that? And they put me through the x-ray. I had to eat x-rated eggs and stuff. And every 15 minutes they were x-raying me to see, how I'd empty. And my stomach wasn't empty. My stomach was paralyzed because I had a gallstones removed in 1990. And it just affected my stomach. So the thing was is that if I would have stayed, she said, if I would get gastric bypass, that chances are I'm going to be in worse condition than I am now. And
yeah,
because
wow.
most people end up with that problem. So it wasn't something for me. So
Yeah, it's certainly not for everybody.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I always recommend that people do their research, but
Oh yeah,
getting support and help, whatever it looks like, is going to be different for every person. So
absolutely.
find a group of people who have made the decision you're making, and then get support, because that's
Oh,
ultimately how you're going to end up healing and doing better and being successful.
absolutely. I'm just glad it was successful for you. That's great.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
You're welcome. So what makes you laugh? And I was going to say other than me, and you probably don't know I can make you laugh. So I'm going to play this. So I'm going to play this real quick. I can't help myself.
I may not be TikTok famous, but I have never posted a video of me shaking my butt for likes. And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it. Yaddy 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 yaddy.
I can't help it. See, I make you laugh. So other than me, what makes you laugh?
I love watching YouTube videos where little kids are doing silly things, because it reminds me of my girls when they were little. I love when, there's that great video that was on Facebook, took us by storm, where the little girl is talking to Siri and she wants Siri to play Baby Shark. And I could sit there and listen to that over and over, because her speech impediment is just the cutest thing. And it just literally has me rolling. So when I need a little pick me up and I need to raise my vibration, I go to YouTube or Facebook and I find those little videos no matter where I am in the day, because I know it'll just put a smile on my face. And we know the science of what happens when you do start laughing. So I encourage people to do it as much as possible.
Yep, I love laughing so much. I got to play this right now.
So have you ever gotten yourself in a pickle? What kind of pickle would you say you gotten yourself into? That you learned the most valuable lesson ever.
Thank heavens for Snapchat.
All day. I could do it all day.
So tell us a pickle you've gotten yourself into.
Well, there have been numerous, because
Oh,
I'm
share two then.
Yeah, I've spent 4.5 decades figuring out that. But I would say that there's a couple of times when honesty is the best policy. And I've learned that the hard way. So whether it's when I was super little and I got caught with my hands in the cookie jar, or as a teenager when I got my hands caught in the cookie jar, or as a young professional trying to figure out the ways and processes and procedures, I have discovered that honesty is the best policy. And the other thing, and this is what I tell people that I mentor in my profession, it's okay when you make a mistake. Fail forward, own it, come up to the table and say, I really screwed this up. I didn't proofread it. Yes, it went to print. Yes, it cost the organization thousands of dollars. Now we're going to have to reprint it. But here's my solution.
Okay. So are you telling me a pickle, or are you bypassing the pickle?
Yeah. I mean, there may have been a time when I missed proofreading something that
Come on, you can do better than that. Answer the question.
Yeah, I won't tell you how many thousands of dollars it cost, but it was in the tens of thousands of dollars to reprint.
Oopsie.
Oops.
Well, you learned a valuable lesson, right? You realize how important it is to keep a job by proofreading.
Yeah, I was pretty convinced through the tears that I was going to get fired. And luckily, my leader was not, she wasn't happy about the budget implications, but she knew it was a genuine mistake. And so I wasn't penalized too much and I didn't lose my job. But I'm sure that that was cause for dismissal. And I'll tell you what, I proofread, and proofread. And I will till the day I die.
I'm going to send some stuff over for you to proofread for me. Oh, no, wait, maybe not.
Yeah.
So, have you ever met a celebrity?
I have. I've met a few, and one of my favorite is the time we got to meet Chris Jackson after watching Hamilton on Broadway. So we after the show we got in line just like everybody else, and got to meet everyone who had performed. And Chris was amazing. We were there for my daughter's 13th birthday, and so he wished her happy birthday and gave her a little extra time, and we got to do a video with him, and it was just phenomenal. So Chris Jackson is one of our favorite celebrities in our home because not only was he a star on Broadway, but he's done amazing other things too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what are your big, hairy, audacious goals? And I'm going to take the later part of this interview to ask you so much about what you do, and it'll intrigue a lot of people. But what's your audacious goal, maybe with your business and your endeavors, if you want to share?
Yeah, well, for me, one of the things I was thinking about in December, preparing for the new year and talking about goals and working on my vision board. And one of my big, hairy, audacious goals is to create a collaboration of entrepreneurs who can support each other in their businesses and design it like a club, like a functioning club. Maybe not like a Rotary or I haven't quite figured out how it's going to look. But the idea of having a virtual online support system and networking event that isn't necessarily tied to a particular cause or another program. So my goal is to have 40 people in that group that meet on a regular basis that we get to connect and support each other in the entrepreneurship space.
Awesome. So it sounds like I'm going to have to audition for the MC of that.
I think based on your ability to make people laugh, I'm going to say you're a shoo-in.
Because I just love you so much, and I already love being in your space. So, anyways, and I'm excited to talk about all that here in a little bit. But what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
I would say jumping fully clothed in a swimming pool because people thought it would be funny, and that's so unlike me. If you knew what I was like before my rebirth, I would say I was very prim and proper, and I played by the rules, and everything was served appropriately and the right kind of dishes or whatever. I mean, like I had this perception of what I was supposed to be. I would have never done that, never. But we did. It was a fun opportunity, and I wasn't the first person, but the fact that I did it probably shocked the crowd because it's not in my general nature. But I have since learned how to live more out loud and to be more authentic and to take chances. So regardless of what people thought, because of course I had all the reasons, right? What's going to happen? What if my shoes get wet? Then they're going to get moldy and then I have to throw them away. Like I had a million reasons that I could just completely give to you in an instant. And then I was like, YOLO. And so
that's right. It's nice that you say that because, if we only realize how much we get in our way from actually living life and having fun, and the fact that we just let society and our parents and everybody mold us in such a way that took our authentic self of birth being here. And it takes years of, self-taught, learning to realize, to unravel all that stuff. And and besides, I bet the best part you loved about it is you made people laugh.
Yeah.
I bet that's the part you really loved. So they laughed with you, not at you. So that was great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question here. What makes a person beautiful to you?
Someone who is just in touch with their purpose, someone who's in touch with their true self, and someone who is okay with whatever else that surrounds that, the package that surrounds that. When someone is really living their authentic life and true to their purpose, they radiate from the inside. And it doesn't matter what their hair looks like, what clothes they're wearing, or what job or position they hold. And it took me a while to figure that out about people. And that was a lot of work that I had to do on myself. But now I can just see beauty in every person. And it doesn't matter what their station is or their post or any of those kinds of things. And what I love about social media is you can connect with all of those people that you wouldn't normally have access to. So it's a beautiful place to be when you can see everyone.
Well, you know what? I love this question and I love asking it because what people don't realize, what I'm fishing for and what I realize is we're a reflection of everything we say and do. And this is definitely a reflection of what I see in you, everything you said, and the fact that you got out of a situation and you put yourself in a better situation and you see yourself in a different life that, you metamorphosized in a way that went from being, in a cocoon to being a beautiful butterfly,
Mhm.
and shedding that out. So I'm super, super proud of you. And I see so much beauty in you. And like I said, we didn't even get to see each other on video till now. And it's just like, and I wanted that excitement. So I was like, I already knew it. I already felt you. And it's just so, so cool. So I love you so much. And that's what my show is about, is to honor you and to show how much you mean to me. So I hope you're feeling that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the energy. And I think what people need to do is find other people that make them feel that way. And that
Mhm.
it's so that there's an exchange of energy and an exchange of kindness and positivity. We tell our kids, don't hang around those people. They're going to influence you. But as adults, why aren't we doing the same thing? Why aren't we surrounding ourselves by people who are influencing us in a way that we want to be influenced, like positive mindset, kindness, charity, all of those kinds of things that we say we value as adults? But who are you surrounding yourself with?
Not that kind. All the
Yeah.
friction. You're dealing with more friction, more static cling. Nobody
Mhm.
likes static cling. I don't like static cling. I'm
Nope.
just saying.
Nope.
So can you recall a time in your life when you said, I would never do, that you ended up doing?
I said I would never move back home to Houston.
Where do you live now?
I live in Houston. After I left in 1993, and I said I would never move back. It was too humid, and my family and I moved back 3 years ago. So that's the one thing that I was just convinced. I knew that it was just not the place for me, and had the opportunity to move back. And man, it's been such a blessing, such a blessing. I'm so glad I was wrong, and I'm so glad that I now have an opportunity to be closer to the people that I love and that I grew up with.
So you know what I tell people? I'm never going to be a billionaire.
Love it. I'm gonna start stealing that.
I'm never going to be a billionaire. So, yeah, I just like people to understand that we have to be careful how powerful our words are, and that whatever you put out there definitely comes back. And the fact that, you can share that you were adamant about moving back, what resists persists
That's
and will
right.
come to fruition. And that's a great example. Um,
Mhm.
I said a lot of things, girlfriend. Oh man, if you only knew.
Yeah, and we tell our kids, be careful what you say because life lives in your language. And we tell our girls all the time how powerful words are. And so when someone says, I'm never gonna never say never. Well, I have kids. I'm never gonna never say
Oh
never.
my gosh. My daughter, when she was pregnant with my grandson, she was almost 20 years old. She goes, I'm never going to do what you did. I'm never going to yell at my kids. She's called me so many times, Mom, I love you. What? Don't yell at my grandkids now.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, man. I tell people this all the time. Don't worry. They will get what they give. And my other daughter, she would tell me, she hurt my feelings. I think she was like 8 years old, my middle daughter. She said to me, You're mean. And so when she gets mean to my granddaughter, I go, You're mean. And she goes, Mom, don't say that in front of her. I go, No, you said it. You're mean.
Yep,
Such
it
a great
always comes
payback.
back. It always come
I just
back.
thank God he let me live long enough to enjoy that.
What a
That's what
blessing.
oh gosh, I didn't even think I'd see my kids when they were little ever grow up and have grandkids. So I've just been blessed and I'm glad that they realize, yeah, now you know why mom yelled at you. I couldn't beat your ass. So of course I'm gonna yell at you. What's the biggest factor that has helped you be successful?
I would say love and support of my family. I'm blessed with two exceptionally supportive parents and an extended family. My mom was always and still is my biggest cheerleader, and she's always constant, posting on my posts, sharing my things. When she comes to events to support me, she's that proud, doting mom, and my dad too, and the extended family that we have. And so I have lots of aunts and uncles. In Spanish, we say tias and tios,
Yep,
who really extend love, support, encouragement, and applause and acknowledgement. And I would say the biggest factor that has helped me be successful is just knowing that my family was my support and always will be. And I'm on a daily thread text thread with my family where we send emojis and memes, and they're all about positive mindset and all about um, living in our language and living in our purpose. And so that's a great reminder, especially when you might be having a rough morning or you spilled your coffee and your meeting got canceled and people are running late and you're kind of like, and then you get that text from someone, and it's bright sunshine, don't forget to think positive and smile at somebody today. And you're like, okay. And it makes the biggest difference.
absolutely. And that's one thing I tell people on my show all the time is, we don't celebrate people while we're here enough. And that's why my show's not all about you coming here and giving all these tips and everything, but I'm going to allow you to do that at the end, of course. But what I'm saying is I want this show to be something that you remember, that somebody, noticed you, cherished you, appreciates you. And it's very, very important to feel that while you're here. It's just sad to see people celebrated when they pass, and
Yeah.
that's just not cool. So what are your success habits?
I would say journaling and practicing gratitude are probably the things that have made me most successful, especially during COVID. There have been times in my life when I was really good at it and stuck to a plan, and I would journal at certain times of the day. And then, work and kids and all those things kind of interrupt your patterns and you stop having those good habits. And once COVID started, it was something I really took on again. And journaling and writing daily affirmations. I do the 5 by 55 affirmations, where you write down 55 affirmation, or you write down one affirmation 55 times for 5 days in a row. And
Wow.
I've been doing that now consistently for a couple of months, and my hand always hurts after I do it. And it may take me a little while. I might start in the morning and finish at night, but it gives me a chance to get my mind in a place of gratitude, and then I can tackle struggles that we might be dealing with during the day. And I would say, again, especially during COVID and when you're working from home and your kids are feeling isolated and they're separate from their peers, it's a good way to be mindful of how to be successful.
Absolutely. So what hard times in your life has left you a better person after it was finished?
Anytime we've had difficulties with health related issues in our family, and you realize, oh my goodness, this is happening. This could be life altering. We talked about that a little bit before the show. Dealing with the financial implications of health issues and medical needs. It's scary, and you don't always know if the medical professionals have the right answers.
Mhm.
And so for me, having had to deal with that a couple of different times as a family has been really, really challenging, because I have a tendency to be the thinker first. Okay, what does this mean? How is this going to impact work? How is this going to impact our schedule? What's it going to cost? Was the deductible made? All those, is that in network? Is it out of network? And I go into this really robotic way of dealing with it. And I
Being a
would say,
mom.
yeah, 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 I'm in charge. I'm just, and I would say understanding that it was all going to be okay and having faith was a big part of leaving me a better person. And then once it was resolved, I realized, and I've heard this said a million times, especially growing up, you're not giving problems that aren't going to make you better and that you can't handle. It's the journey and it's what you learn through that process. And I would say it definitely has left me a better person because I had to learn patience and I had to learn what was in my control and what wasn't in my control and being at peace with all of that. So that's certainly something I think a lot of families can relate to. And once you get through it, it definitely makes you a better person.
That's awesome. So, which of your personality traits has been the most useful?
Being boss mom.
You love it. What's the most impressive thing you know how to do? Being a boss mom.
Being boss mom. How to order groceries for curbside.
Girlfriend, I did that before we got on here at 3:00. I get my delivery.
Yep. Yes.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to know this one. What personality trait has gotten you the most trouble? And it's not proofreading, so don't go there.
Yeah, no, not anymore. It's not. I would say sometimes using colorful language. Especially if we're in the car and a song, we listen to Sirius XM and we might get the 80s or 90s channel on and I'll start singing and dancing and I sing and dance with the lyrics accordingly. And my children are like, Mom, stop it. You're so embarrassing. People are watching you and don't do that. You're too old and get up. And I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to do that anymore.
I love
So
it.
yeah, having colorful language in dance.
Oh man. So what part of the day do you look forward to and why?
I look forward to my mornings because I get to take another breath. And one of the things I've implemented in my daily routine is before I get out of bed, make sure I have thought through all my gratitudes. And sometimes it takes me 30 seconds and sometimes it takes me 6 minutes. And I don't get out of bed until I have gone through the list of people that I love and value. And, sometimes people pray at night for other people. They might be praying for a relative or a friend who's sick or, whatever it is, their prayer list. And while that's important, and I do that too, for me, it's the mornings when I get to just be thankful to be alive and for another day and can value the people that I have in my life.
That's awesome. Okay, so what habit do you have now that you wish you started much earlier?
Gratitude. Expressing my gratitude. I really didn't start owning that until probably in the last 3 or 4 years. Before that, I would say, "Oh, thank you, God, for another day," or, I would say thanks around the Thanksgiving, dinner table. I might share the things I was thankful for that year, but in terms of genuinely sitting inside of gratitude, that really wasn't a practice that I didn't start until later in life, and I wish I'd done that earlier. If I think back to my 20s, I just wish that was something that was part of my daily life, because I think I could have done things much differently and much more powerfully. But it wasn't my path and it wasn't my time, and I'm okay with that. I just wish I could go back and tell myself that. So it's certainly something I tell young people all the time. People I mentor, my girls, their friends. I always ask questions like, "What are you thankful for today?" And they're like, "Oh, Mom," because but the prompt is real and I give it as much as I can.
So so do you feel like you've forgiven yourself enough for that?
Yeah, I think so
Because
because I know that I've learned valuable lessons because I wasn't as awake to that part of my spiritual side until recently. And if I had been, I wouldn't have gone through the things that I went through and it wouldn't have paid off and been part of who I am.
nice, nice. So how do you organize your time?
Well, I have several different tools that I use, and actually, my coworkers got me the really great planner, and so I like all the little stickers, and I like to color code things, and everything has a little flag with a different color. So you'll often find me with this beautiful teal organizer that I like to use. And organizing my time into chunks has been really, really helpful. And I'll even just put on my calendar, on top of which I do everything electronically too, but organizing time for myself. So I'll say I'm going to walk from 6:30 to 7:30 every morning. I'm going to do this. And I actually put it on the calendar so that I get alarms. And even if I don't get a chance to adhere to it, at least I know that time was built in my day for self-care.
Mhm.
So blocking time has probably been the biggest and most successful way that I've been able to organize. myself.
Awesome. So what's your favorite thing to do when you do have the free time?
Um, a couple of different things. I do like to walk. That's my time to decompress, enjoy nature, listen to the dogs barking in the neighborhood. And there's a park near our home, so I get to walk over there, and I do enjoy that. I love listening to podcasts. I love audiobooks. So those are the things that I like to do in my free time, even if it's just while I'm doing laundry or, during the Christmas break, there was some downtime. So organizing closets, I would always have an audiobook in the background because that made me feel like I was learning or my brain was still working. And so I really enjoyed that.
Oh, cool. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'll still ask it. If you could start all over, what would you do differently? And I know you said
Nothing.
gratitude, but
Nothing. I don't think I would do anything differently. I don't, when I think back, everything had a purpose, everything brought value, and I appreciate all those things that happened for what they were. I think a lot of people probably my hope is that a lot of people get to that point in their life where they don't have regrets. And if they do, they're ones that maybe they can find value in. And so for me, I would just continue to be on the path that I'm on, and just be thankful for every part of it.
nice, nice. So what do you wish someone taught you a long time ago?
To manage self care. The 2 people that or the 3 people really that have, really helped me the most are my 2 girls and my husband. They're always like, "Go get your nails done, go get a facial, go get a massage, and go buy yourself some new flowers," or they'll buy me flowers, and for the longest time, I always thought, "Well, no, that's not really in our budget, and we could do so much more with this, and I'd rather put that towards retirement," or again, I had all these things that I thought life was supposed to be like, and benchmarks that I thought we needed to meet. And I wish that someone had taught me that sooner, self-care. And my mom is great about that. She'll buy me gifts. Oh, I bought you a new purse. Oh, I bought you a new pair of shoes. And I wish someone had taught me much sooner that those things can still bring you joy and it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had one piece of advice for someone starting out, what would it be?
I would say being open to all opportunities and not saying no to anything. I think oftentimes, I had a preconceived notion of what my life should look like and how it should operate, and I said no to things that I probably was too quick to say no to. So contemplating, being reflective, and being open to all opportunities.
I love that. I love that. What's the best trip traveling wise you've ever had? And I know they didn't do much this past 2020, and I'm not a mind reader when it comes to that, but
Wow, that's a really great question. I've had some great trips. Um, I would say most recently, going to London right before the summer, right before COVID hit. My youngest daughter, had the opportunity to go to London with a theater group, and we probably saw 5 or 6 shows in London while we were there. But the best part of the trip was I got to reconnect with 2 friends of mine that I met in high school when had gone to Sweden. So fast forward 30 years, and they're Welsh, and they were able to come down and meet us in London for the afternoon, and we literally had not seen each other in 30 years, and it was just phenomenal.
oh, you're giving me chills. That's a once in a lifetime reconnect.
It
I
was
love
great.
that. I love that. So what makes you unique?
Well, I would say, like everybody, we've all got lots of little quirks and nuances about who we are, and the ability to find beauty in every person. That was a gift that I knew I had, and then the ability to connect people to other people to create synergistic relationships and opportunities, whether it was business or not business, and maybe if it was just personal. And I always try to find other people to connect someone to.
And I should take a moment to thank you for connecting me with my guest for Friday, Stacy. I'm looking forward to having her on my show. And so you are a connector, and I'm grateful to know you, and I hope I can give you back just as much as you've given me so far. So just
You
wanted to say that.
absolutely have. Yeah.
Oh,
And the fact that you make me laugh so much, and the energy that you just provide, through a screen, through the internet is just it takes you to another level, and you can think more clearly, you can operate more efficiently, you can get more work done in your day when you're vibrating at that high level, and Lynn, you're just you're a master at that. That's what you do.
I love you. I love you. You're awesome. So, what is your favorite quote? You must have
Oh,
one or two, and you don't need to know them perfect. But
I
like one for me is like lean not on your own understanding is
that's a
the
good one.
beginning of it because most of the times, what when I was near death experience, I always had to put it to God and have trust and faith that it was all going to work out for the greater good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of my favorites that I live by and I post anywhere I can is jump and find your wings on your way down.
I love that.
I it just it's something I heard years ago, um, and it resonated with me, and it's something I live by. So when I get that scared slash excited slash nauseous feeling, I know that that's what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to
Mhm.
take that leap of faith, even if I don't know the answer, even if I don't know the outcome. So just jump and find your wings on your way down.
But that's how I feel about these podcasts. I didn't realize I was going to get into these. I didn't even I still haven't even set up my newsletter for it. I haven't done all the things I need to market it. I don't care about that because it was like, I want to make sure I'm all like this. And then I'm going somewhere and I have a mission with it. And I figured the people I'm interviewing, they're either going to love it and share it with their friends or not. And that's fine with me, but I'm going to show love and appreciation. My kids can see, the people I connected with. But yeah, so I love that whole jumping in. I mean, last year my word was like, do it anyways.
Mm.
And so it really is, let's see. What kind of people do you enjoy hanging out with?
People who like to laugh and people who are there for the right reasons. Not, I don't like hanging out with people who have a lot of negativity. It's almost like you see that dark cloud surrounding them and kind of following them. So I've gotten more attuned to that the older I've gotten, or maybe the more self-reflective I've gotten. So I see them coming and I just don't be in their space. So the people I enjoy hanging out with the most are people that make me laugh and are really up to something in their life.
That's awesome. So, what tells you the most about a person?
Their actions. A lot of people have great mission statements. They say the right things, but if they're not living that through their actions, then I know there's a disconnect and I can sniff it out pretty early. And so I usually separate myself from that because it used to be I was almost naive or ignorant that that was true. But once I understood how someone's actions were aligned to their value system, it helped me to determine the type of people I wanted to spend my days with.
Right. Yeah, integrity is everything. I mean, people don't understand. Maybe you can't pay a bill because something happens there, but you got to give your word to what you're doing. And I mean, like, I don't like put myself in a corner. I'm like, I got this much to do. I'll play it by ear, but I don't, when you make a word, it was weird because we were trying to connect with Stacy and I was like, we were missing each other. And 7 o'clock, what time? I'm like, cause I'm in mountain time. So that messed up that I couldn't get, 7 o'clock somewheres.
Yep.
But, but I like to stay with my word because if not, that just really rubs me the wrong way, let alone anybody else. So, let me get into this. Then we're going to get into some good stuff here. What book recommendations do you think have been impactful in your life?
Well, definitely the 4 agreements.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about that, didn't we? We
Yes.
talked about that. I talked to somebody else the other day about 4 agreements. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely the 4 agreements. There's a couple of others. Anything by Brené Brown, I just love, and I love listening to her podcast, but her books are really good. And so I'm an avid reader, and whenever someone makes a book recommendation, I usually go and flag it and try to check it out with my library card on my digital device. I love that now that the libraries have their resources online, it's really helpful.
So you are just awesome. And
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to play this right now.
Oh my goodness. So I met Veronica. She came and joined my Facebook group. And one day I was actually in this very bathroom and I was reading cards for my community, and Veronica was one of the cards that I read. And her message just completely resonated for her, and she ended up signing up to work with me. And then I ended up signing up to work with her because she's amazing, and now we talk every single day. She's one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life, and I'm so glad that I met her. I think that she is a phenomenal asset to me as a friend and as a visibility strategist. And I always send my clients her way because she has a way of getting you noticed. So I love you, Veronica.
Oh my goodness.
I got to be a sneak on my show. You never know what Lynn's going to do on her show.
Wow,
You thought
that's
you knew.
amazing.
Yeah, Amy Lee. I'm looking forward to. I got to book her next week. I got to have
She's
her on.
amazing.
She is. It's a wonderful tribe we got here. Which just brings me to this. You put things on Facebook and I got to check them out. But I've got a little video here because she said she joined your group. So, and I just recently joined your group too.
Welcome. Hi, my name is Veronica Sopher, and I'm so glad you're here in our little group, magnifying your message with media. In this group, you're going to get regular content with tons of great resources and things that you can implement to grow your brand and to legitimize who you are and what it is your company is doing. So I'm just super excited to get this group launched, and I can't wait to answer any questions you might have, engage with you on a regular basis, and really get to know you. So make sure you stay tuned to announcements and watch the schedule and the posts, and we will be sure to get you the content you need to make sure that you're successful in your visibility strategies.
Yay. Well, that group is growing and there's a lot of information there. And I put a little video together, some of the information. Okay, so I'm sharing some of the stuff from your group. All just for the sake of this, okay? I don't know if I said that right, but you know my heart.
I gotcha.
You know my heart. Anyways, so why don't you explain some of the stuff that we're going to show right now?
Love it. Okay. So really the group is there you go. Here I am. Really the group is a way for people to connect and share their strategies on how they are earning visibility with media and traditional and non-traditional. So podcasts, virtual summits, those kinds of things, because at the end of the day, whether or not you're growing a business or you're just growing your brand or even just your personal brand, how you share is by getting seen and heard, because we want people to feel who you are and what you're doing. So in my group, that's what we talk about. And it looks different for different people. Some people are mindset coaches, some people are realtors, some people are bankers. I've got a couple of attorneys in there. So you don't have to be an online entrepreneur to really focus on your visibility. You just need to know who it is you are, what it is you want to do, and the message you want to convey.
So if you'll go back on this thread later and I don't know if you have it open to anyone that'd like to join, correct?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would love to see you guys in there and see what my friend Veronica is doing. And so there's some great people in there. I actually have friends that are in there too. So that's pretty cool. And so I'm honored to be a part of that group. And so if you want to share more about what your passion is about it, let's talk, girl.
Yeah. So honestly, I love helping people. I talked about being a connector, but my jam is really helping people share their message so that they can live their life's purpose. If you're living your life's purpose, you're not working. You're just doing what it is you're supposed to do. You're feeling compelled. You're feeling the love and joy and the passion for whatever it is, whether you're an attorney or a realtor or a mindset coach or a weight loss coach or whatever that looks like. And so in my group and in my community and what I do with my clients is support them in spreading the message. So that might look like getting them booked to speak at a conference or getting them booked to be on a stage as a keynote speaker. I have several authors, Stacy, that you're going to have. She's going to talk about her books, and really it's not about making the sale. It's about sharing what the message is. Sales comes after that. And I talk to people all the time about what public relations is versus advertising. And public relations is just sharing who you are, sharing your brand. But at the end of the day, your brand is your promise. It's a promise of what you're doing and who you are and the values that you stand behind. Ads are a whole nother thing. You exchange money for ads. That's a very valuable part of growing your business, but that's not what I do. And so I work with people to craft their messages so that they can share who they are.
I love that. I love that. So, and then, so yeah, like I said, I'm excited about the people you connect with me that the world needs to know in order to be able to realize our world is so much bigger than what our circle is.
Yes,
And
it's so true.
people don't share enough. They're not willing to stretch their mind or imagination. And it's also sad. Like, I love books. I mean, I've got digital books, but I love like holding a book. Like, I
Yeah.
always have books in my purse or anything. So if I have a few seconds, I'll read something. I mean, you either love books or you don't. But I wish people would, I have people that are my age that are like, Lynn, I can't do what you're doing. It's like, I'm not doing anything you can't do. I mean, like what's fearful is if you drive in Montana doing 80 miles an hour in the dark. Now that kind of scares me sometimes. Okay. We got bears and deer and buffaloes and elk and all that stuff. That's more risk than what I'm doing. So, I mean, we gotta, you gotta take that belief system and tear down what's true and what's not. And so I'm just very, very happy that we're connected and that we're able to make a difference in the world with, people getting connected. And that's just, that's really awesome. And I'm so grateful you're here. What made you go into doing this? I mean, what geared
Yeah.
your
Well, I went to school to be a journalist, and so I thought I was going to work in the newsroom. But as soon as I got into journalism school, I knew that there was another part of it, and it's public relations.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing. You told me how you didn't proofread stuff. You might be a journalist and you're not going to proofread. Okay, I get that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
And
I'm not a good speller. I'm not. My brain doesn't work.
But Veronica, I'm just laughing because I was going to be a New York State trooper, and the one thing I hated when I was a peace officer and I would arrest somebody, I hated the damn paperwork. It was like, I tell everybody, can I tell you the story? Could you just write that shit? Now, mind you, I like writing, creative writing, whatever, but
Sure.
not when it's going to be a court document. Like, don't leave it to me.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Well, I quickly realized newspaper was not for me. But I still loved the connection and the story. So I found another way around it because I didn't want to have to, be responsible for spelling things and submitting it.
But that was before spell check.
Yeah, it was. It was before spell check. I actually remember I was explaining to my kids how when you use a typewriter, you have to backspace twice if you want to center something. And they were like, what? Just hit center. I'm like, no, you had to literally backspace. It was such a concept that they could not grasp. And I said, never mind, just hit center. It's fine.
Oh man, I know. Like we get into the stories. I had to walk 13 blocks to school,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
did though. I did. Same thing with that typewriter thing. So that's awesome that you just decided to find your niche.
Mhm.
And how long have you been doing it now?
About 20 years, a little over 20 years. I've done it professionally, and I've always helped people on the side. My dad wrote an award-winning book, and I became his publicist. And that we had a book tour, and I set up his website, did all his social media, and then I had some friends ask me to do the same thing. So before you knew it, what was a little hobby and a little passion grew into something. And so I have the pleasure of helping people spread their message.
And you are awesome. I mean, like I was like, I needed some guests. You're like, here, how many do you want?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think I know you're awesome like that. I mean, you've got such a heart of giving that I just love. And I don't know where you've been all my life, but I'm just glad you're one of my soul sisters, and that you showed up. And let's see, I've got some other questions here. Okay, what's something that you wanted to learn or wish you were better at?
Cooking.
Cooking.
I'd like to by my 50th birthday, I'd like to be able to have that down.
There you go. Uh, And what's the funniest joke you know by heart? Do you know a joke?
I don't. I always have to look one up. I always go for the silly knock knock jokes, and then I always miss the punchline, and then it's like, golly, it's how hard is it? But
Uh,
I
all
the
right, that's fine. How about this one though? If a genie granted you 3 wishes right now, what would you wish for?
I would wish for COVID to go away and be manageable. I would wish that people who have endured the healthcare challenges around that would be able to get relief. And I would wish for a brand new doggy in our home. That's what I would wish for.
Oh, did you lose your doggy?
Well, we have a 5-year-old Maltese, but before that we had 2, and one lived 14 years, the other one lived 13 years, but we've been trying to convince dad that, we need a second one, and he's pretty convinced we don't, and the every kinda day that passes by, I'm like, "Oh, she really needs a brother or sister," so if I had 3 wishes, my last wish was that we had another Maltese puppy
Oh, well, it's
that
funny.
came potty trained, that already came potty trained.
Oh, girl, yes, yes. Yeah, those little dogs want to do what they want to do sometimes, and I mean, they do their
Yeah,
doo-doos wherever
yeah,
they want to.
yeah,
But yeah, they do need companion when you're not around. They do get anxiety, They're
they
wondering
do.
when you're going to come back and all that stuff. You should tell him that.
Yeah.
What tells you the most about a person?
Their actions.
Oh, that's right.
We talked a lot about
Oh
that
no, I meant
before.
to ask you this one. No,
Oh, okay.
what's the first thing you notice about a person?
Their smile. When someone is smiling, it doesn't matter what they're gonna say after, they already make me feel good. They already make me feel
Oh,
welcome in their space, and so when someone's smiling, it's the first thing I notice.
aw. Okay, so this is we're going to wrap it up here soon, but what's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Goodness, that's a good one. I've been to some pretty lovely places, but I would say there's a lake in Michigan, and the name escapes me. It's a very small lake, and it's a glacier lake. And up in Michigan, I had the opportunity to spend some time there, and just the trees were beautiful. There was even a little beach there, and it was just a small glacier lake, but it was just gorgeous. I loved it.
Aw. Well, girly, I have had so much fun with you. I can't even tell you how much fun I had with you. It went by really super fast.
It did. It
So
did.
I hope to have you back on my show sometime, whether it's promoting something and we just do a little blurb or whatever. It would be a total honor to have you. And I thank everybody that stopped by. And I'm going to play that little intro video again. You stay right there, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.